What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So I thought I'd do a match reaction to the game yesterday, which finished after extra time. Celtic 6, St Mirren 2 in the Scottish Cup semi-final. Celtic overcoming St Mirren in extra time to book a final place where they will play Neil Lennon and Dunfermline in a few weeks' time in the showpiece game at Hampden Park. Yeah, very, very, very brilliant game. I'm not going to lie. For a neutral, absolutely fantastic game, to be honest. But Celtic, again, they showed the Celtic this season. They showed, what the problem's been. They were comfortable, dominant in the first half. Two goals up. And then in the second half, completely fell to pieces. St Mirren, fair play to them, for coming back. Mandron gave us all sorts of problems in the second half. I haven't got a clue what the two centre-backs were doing. They didn't get close enough to him at all. And yes, St Mirren could have easily won in normal time. They were the better side in the second half. Again, Celtic not physical enough. As soon as McGregor went off, the midfield went completely missing, I think. That's a dereliction of duty again on the Celtic boards, for the fact that we haven't got the players with the right mentality to take over from McGregor, But, in the extra time, we had a really good spell where we showed what we can do. We scored some really good goals. Iheanacho, I thought, was excellent. I'm not a fan of him, but I thought him and Forrest was excellent as well. I think James Forrest single-handedly helped us win that game, to be honest. Dyson was brilliant. Dyson was back to his best, pressing all game. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. The old Dyson Mider that we've been missing all season was back yesterday. I thought he was really, really, I thought he was good. I thought he was really, really good. But yeah, the first half begins. Celtic, what a start. St Mirren, I haven't got a clue what the goalie was doing. St Mirren have a free kick. They play it back. The goalkeeper tries to play it out. Dyson, straight on it. The guy, the goalkeeper hits it against Dyson and it rolls into the net and Celtic are 1-0 up. Very fortuitous goal, but great pressing from Dyson. Celtic from this point, with a dominant side. Yeah, it was a lucky goal, but we'll take it. My day scored one against Rangers a couple of years ago where I think Tavernier kicked it against him and it went past Butland into the nets. He has scored goals like that before, but it all comes from the work rate. The work rate from Dyson was excellent to get that goal. Brilliant start for Celtic. Engels then hit the post. That was really unlucky. Tanecki came inside. I thought Tanecki was really quiet, but he did come inside, roll it off to Engels, who then curled one from outside the box, and it hit the post. That was really unlucky from Arnie Engels. Arnie Engels as well was a bit fortunate. I thought he made a really bad tackle in the first half, which could have easily been a red card, but VAR luckily didn't see it that way. Simasalo nearly made a mistake twice in the first half. The first one, I haven't got a clue what he's doing. He kicks it against the St Mirren player, just like the Celtic goal. But luckily, he got back and cleared it away, but it would have been a handball anyways. It did come off the St Mirren player's arm, so it wouldn't have counted. But yeah, Simasalo dwelling on the ball. I haven't got a clue what he was doing, to be honest. But Celtic got away with one. Simasalo again, giving the ball away, in the first half. St Mirren not taking advantage of the situation, luckily. But again, what was he doing? Absolutely horrendous from Simasalo. I like him, but I haven't got a clue what he was doing. I thought he looked really shaky yesterday in the first half. He composed himself and got better, but yeah. Celtic got the second goal. It was, Yang hit the bar. Sorry, Yang hit the crossbar. That was really unlucky. Really good ball from KT into the box. Yang, what a header. Brilliant header from Yang. So unlucky. Off the underside of the bar and bounced out. That was so unlucky. Celtic nearly went 2-0 up at that point. Really was unlucky from Yang. Great header. Great cross from Kieran Tierney. And yeah, it was really unlucky from Celtic. Really unlucky from Yang. Celtic did get the second goal. And it was from Anthony Ralston. Really good play. Tanecki again comes inside. Rolls it off to Yang on the other side. Yang, what the easiest option would have been to take it down the line and fire it into the box to see if someone could tap it in. But he knows Ralston's there, so he backheels it. And Ralston, what a hit. He smashes it in off the bar and into the back of the net. Not a fan of Ralston, never have been, but it was a good goal from him. Celtic were 2-0 up. It's a great goal from Ralston. Celtic deservedly 2-0 up at half-time. But then the second half was an absolute nightmare. We were so bad. We were absolutely tragic. We were so poor. St Mirren get the goal back. Declan John down that side, gets away from Ralston too easily. Really good ball into the box. And then Tierney and the two centre backs, what on earth were they doing? Tierney gets overpowered by Mandron. Mandron, great header into the bottom corner, passing Masalo, 2-1 to Celtic at this point. St Mirren definitely got the initiative, to be honest. Simasalo had to make a save. Arthur at one point got the ball, tried to nick it in front of Mandron. Mandron got in front of him, got away from him. Really poor from Celtic in the second half. It really was bad. Absolutely terrible. It was coming, and then the goal came. St Mirren got the equaliser they deserved in the second half. They were definitely the better side. Very poor goal. So simple. It is so simple, the goal that we conceded, the second goal. Straight through to Mandron. Arthur's let him go. It's really poor. And Mandron, what a finish. Smashes it into the bottom corner past Simasalo. And St Mirren, unbelievably, were level 2-2. The first half of extra time, I thought we were going to lose personally. St Mirren could have easily won that game in normal time. The way we performed in the second half, it was completely disgraceful in the second half from Celtic in normal time. But fair play to Celtic. Celtic came out, and they scored some really good goals to end a St Mirren fight back. Iheanacho came on, Forrest came on. They made a real difference. It was Iheanacho who got the third goal. Really good play by Forrest. He gets past Declan John too easily. Declan John, stands off him. It's really poor defending from Declan John. Forrest, great ball into the box. And there's Iheanacho in between Freckleton and Gogic. And it's a good header. It's a really good header into the corner. Iheanacho made a real difference when he came on. He held the ball up. He tried to bring players into play. Made a real difference. Forrest as well, showing his experience. Really good performance from James Forrest. I hate to say it, but I think we need to start Forrest all the time. I think he could make a real difference. He's been there, he's done it. I know he's old and we shouldn't be relying on him at this point, but still, he offers more than some of the other wingers that we've got who are just simply not Celtic standard players. Celtic, then, great response to the third goal. They scored the fourth goal. Yes, it was a bit fortuitous. The St Mirren player tries to block it, and it goes straight through to McCowan. But it's a great finish from Luke McCowan. What a finish. Right into the bottom corner. Celtic 4-2 up. Deserved it as well at this point. They were really, really on fire at this point. Really good goal from Luke McCowan. Taking advantage of a St Mirren mistake and scoring. That definitely ended the game there and then. That goalkeeper came on as well, the 17-year-old. I thought he'd done well. I thought he'd done really well for St Mirren, to be honest. Considering that the other goalkeeper got injured and he made that mistake as well. I thought he'd done really well. Celtic then got the fifth goal. It was Iheanacho again. Great play by Celtic. Simple passing, passing it side to side, well, not side to side, but passing it with a bit of pace. Really good play, McCowan, I think it was, rolled it into Iheanacho. Iheanacho, really good movement, he comes short, drops into the space. St Mirren stand off him. What a finish, Iheanacho, simple, brilliant finish into the bottom corner. 5-2, it's a really good goal. That was better. His second goal was so much better than his first goal. His first goal was a good header, but his second goal was really good finishing. That's a striker's finish, really good finish into it past the goalkeeper. 4-2. Benjamin Negron, who was really quiet throughout the whole game, got his 20th goal of the season to settle the game. Really good goal again. St Mirren trying to play it out from the back. Maida does brilliantly. Maida was excellent. Back to his best. We need to see that the rest of the season if we're going to win the league, which I don't think we will, unfortunately. But we need to see that more often. Really good play. Maida, Rob gets the ball for Gogic. Gogic dives in. Maida gets away from him, rolls it across. And there was Benjamin Negron in the middle of the 6-yard box. Good finish. 6-2. Unbelievable, it was 6-2. Why did we not show that at normal time? We showed what we can do, in a blistering spell, but we didn't show it throughout the whole 90 minutes. It was so, in the first half, when we started, I thought we were going to be our absolute best again, but we weren't. But we won the game 6-2. Second half, Iheanacho had an opportunity which goalkeeper saved for a hat-trick. But yeah, that's how it ended, 6-2. St Mirren played their part. Fair play to them. McLeish is doing a decent job there, to be fair. Hopefully they stay up. For us, we got Falkirk on Saturday. First game of the split, I think it is. We need to win that game. We need to win that game because, Falkirk are a decent side, but we should be beating them. Obviously, they lost the other semi-finals to Dunfermline on Saturday, sorry. So we need to win that game if we have any chance of winning the league. We need players like, we need to start Iheanacho. Iheanacho makes such a difference, as much as I don't think he's great, and I don't think he's 100% fit. He's still better than the other options we've got, like Crantrara and Adamu. He's better than both of them, so start him. I would for the rest of the season. Maida gives 100%, see what happens. But yeah, Celtic, have got Dunfermline in the cup final. It's Neil Lennon against Martin O'Neill. Who would have thought, 30 years later after Neil Lennon first came to Scotland, that he'd be having a match against the guy who brought him to Celtic in the first place. It'll be an emotional occasion because obviously Neil Lennon, the COVID season was an absolute disaster and he was an absolute joke that season, but he's given so much to Celtic over his life, he's an absolute legend. And obviously Martin O'Neill, we all love Martin. So it'll be an interesting game, to be honest. Yes, Celtic should win, but you can't count out. Celtic have been poor this season, don't count out Dunfermline. Lennon will definitely have them up for it, 100%. But yeah, for us, Falkirk on Saturday, I think it's 5:15 kickoff. We have to win. We have to win that game. Don't worry about what Hearts and Rangers are doing. We just focus on ourselves, do our bit, I don't think it's going to be enough, sadly, because I don't think our team's good enough overall, but it's just not good enough. And obviously, like I said, even if we did win the league, that board still needs to go and some of these players still need to go as well, So that's my take on it. Thanks for watching. I'll do a reaction to the Falkirk game on Saturday. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next one. Man of the match was definitely Dyson Maida. Thought he was excellent. So thanks for watching. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.